Hello, gorgeous. I'm Kayla, and I'm the main character coach, and I'm super excited for you to have found my platform. This is my first TikTok live. I'm just playing around. I have no idea what I'm doing, but welcome to my platform. I'm super excited that you are here. In this live, I really just want to formally introduce myself, to talk a little bit about my story, and to let you know what stepping into your main character energy is all about. So first things first, I am a main character coach. And you're probably like, what the heck is that? When you decide to be the main character of your life, you're basically deciding that you're going to make the most of your life no matter what. You get to rewrite the narrative that your dreams, your desires, and what you want takes center stage. And it can be misconceived. Like, some people are like, that is so selfish. But the reality of things is, who wants to spend their life playing a supporting role in their own story? Absolutely no one. And so by becoming the main character of your life, you get to master your emotions, you get to set boundaries, you learn to overcome people pleasing, you learn to be more confident. And I don't say that you never get scared, because I definitely get scared. I'm actually really nervous right now. It means that I do things anyway, because there's no growth in your comfort zone. And so I guess you're probably saying, okay, Kayla, cool. So I need to be the main character of my life, or I get to be that. Why should I listen to you? So in addition to being a certified master life coach, I'm also a master's level social worker, and I've got 15 years of experience in mental health and social services. But even more than all of that, all the things that I talk to my clients about, that I talk to my audiences and platforms about, I have put these things into practice for myself. So a little bit about me is I grew up in a very conservative family, very conservative town, where the expectation was always excellence. Like, seriously, always excellence. And while that has served me so well in corporate and in school, maybe get good grades, it created anxiety in me. It created this desire and this will for perfectionism and people pleasing, and it didn't serve me in my relationships, not my romantic relationships or in friendships, because when you don't have appropriate boundaries, or you're constantly seeking validation from the outside, you do things you wouldn't normally do. You stay longer than you wanted to stay. You end up going places you don't want to. Like, somebody hears me out there. And so I ended up being in a lot of friendships and relationships that I didn't want to be in, and doing things that I don't necessarily say that I regret. It's just stuff that it wasn't for me. And it was just a lot. So I got married at 24. We adopted children at 25. I was divorced by 27. And then overnight, I was a single mom. So that was like a gut punch, especially when you're like, I did all the things. I went to school, I got married, I got the job. It was so heartbreaking, and I did not know what to do. And it wasn't like we had just adopted any kids. We adopted his nephew, so they came with a lot of behavioral disturbances and emotional disturbances. And I love my kids, like, more than cheese and crackers. I love my kids. It was just a lot to handle at 24. And so I tell them all the time, we grew up together, and I love them for the grace that they've shown me. It was just heavy. So for about 6 years, I had to do that by myself. And my ex-husband is amazing, like amazing. We'll get into that. So essentially, I started dating a new guy, and because I had not done the appropriate thing, like go to therapy, go to counseling, and work through the issues that I had from childhood, from my first marriage, I of course attracted people who were also broken, who also needed help, who also could not provide for me what I needed. Part of that was I was asking for the wrong stuff, the right stuff from the wrong person, but B, there was a lot of inner work that I needed to do. And so I was in that relationship for 6 years before he proposed. And after that proposal, my youngest child lost his ass, like batshit bananas, crazy stuff. It was so unstable. He has RAD, it's reactive attachment disorder for people who do know. We actually had to end up moving the boys to my ex-husband's house full time. So that was 2020. So this was like February before the world stopped. So my kids moved out, then the world stopped, and I worked in healthcare, so I still had to go to work. And by September, I had called off my wedding because there was so much turmoil and so much tension. My fiance, I skipped that part, had developed a seizure disorder. And we don't talk anymore, so I don't know what it was related to, but he didn't think that he needed medication. And so for me, I was trying to carry the burden of COVID, take care of my children in a different home, manage my own emotions, and get him to take his medications. And he just was not ready for that part of life, right? So it was just a lot of stress. So I called off my wedding. I moved all of my stuff to an apartment the size of a shoebox because the cost of living in Nashville is ridiculous. And so I basically lost everything. And then 2 days after I moved, my dog got hit by a car. Y'all, it was the darkest time of my life. And all I did was eat pasta and drink red wine. Like every single day, that's what I did with my time. Like I just couldn't. And I remember one night I was laying on the bathroom floor and the tile is spinning. And I'm like, dear God, like if you can help me get my life back together, if you can get me out of this spot, I promise you that it will not be in vain. I promise you. And that very next day I called for counseling. And so I went to therapy and I went to femininity coaching, and I did that for about 1.5 years. And this was the first time, y'all, since I left my parents' house that I lived alone. It was the first time that I actually poured into me. It was the first time that I did the work to find out like what I like and what I want and what my boundaries were and where the line was. And I learned that my emotions were all over the place. I learned why I was so depleted because I was saying yes to everything because I didn't want to upset anybody. And I learned that I had the right, I had the power to say, no, that doesn't align with me, or no, I don't want to go out, or you can't call me after 10, or I don't kiss on the first date. Like these are things that I did not learn until I was early 30s. And if by telling my story and sharing what I do, it can help somebody else's life, I definitely want to do that. So I did the work, and once I was better and I was discharged from therapy and stable, I decided that I would start a coaching business. I shared with y'all before, I am a master's level social worker with 15 years of experience. I've helped thousands of people put their lives together, but I needed that time. I needed that year. I needed that 1.5 years to really do deep inner work, to heal my inner child, to see what Kayla needed. What is the Bible says, physician, heal thyself. I really needed that time so that I can confidently go to someone else and say, hey sis, these are the steps. These are the strategies. This is how I got better. This is why my life doesn't look like that anymore, because I was in shambles. I'm so grateful. And I never thought I would say that. Like in 2019, I was on the top of the world. I was engaged. I had this beautiful wedding dress picked out. I was all these venues, like things were great. But I'm so glad it fell apart because my life today is so much better. And it never would have been if I had not have had the courage to say, I can't do this anymore. I need help. Like those are the hardest words in the English language, is to say, I need help. And so because I was afraid to say them for so long, I suffered unduly. But the moment that I recognized, hey, I need some help, things got better. And so once I got better, I decided to start this business, to start this program. And so what I do now is I lead women to confidently embrace their main character era, to recognize what they need and what they want, and to walk away from relationships and people and jobs and situations that are no longer serving them. I remind them constantly that what we were doing when we were 20, we should not be doing at 40. At some point, we have to learn. I help people to see what's possible. When you start to see what's possible, it changes the game for you. And I do this on a wide range of spectrums. I have one-on-one coaching. I have a group program. If you're a texter, I have an accountability program where we just send each other voice texts or text messages so that you can check in with me, just because when you decide to transform your life, each family, each friend group, they have what we call in psych homeostasis. There's a normalcy. When you start acting different, when you start changing, not everybody in your circle is going to support you, sis. And so you need someone that says, you know what, it's okay. We got this. Learning to sit with that discomfort and having someone to be with you during that discomfort, it was game changing for me. And I love that I get to be that person for someone else. So if you have questions, definitely throw questions down below. Ask me questions on my content. If you're looking for a coach to work with, whether it's one-on-one or in group, DM coach or drop coach below, and let's chat. Let's talk about how we can get you to the next level. It is time out for just saying this is just the way my life is. No, you are a main character. Every single one of us has a story, something to learn, something that we are trying to do, something we're trying to pass on, and you just get to decide that you're not going to let your story end the way that it is. It was game changing for me. I spent years doing what my parents wanted, what my job wanted, what my partners wanted, and trying to check the boxes for society. And when I removed the timeline and I decided that, you know what, this is my life, I'm going to do it my way, everything started falling into place. And so I love that I can support other women in doing that too. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's what being a main character is all about, and that is why I am definitely qualified to talk to you about your life, to give you life coaching, to give you confidence coaching, to give you main character coaching. I hope that you love this community. I think I said it before, I can't remember. I want this platform to be like you're on FaceTime with a friend. I do not want it to be clinical. I don't want everything to have to be all structured and organized. I'm going to give you good and valuable information, but I want it to be authentic. I want you guys to feel like you know me. Like when my face pops up, I want you to be like, oh, it's Kayla. Like definitely a different vibe over here. I love you. I'm so glad that you're watching, and I cannot wait to chat with you again soon. Bye, girl.